Alright, now the cockpit is mainly ready for pushback, and I just enlarged the map a bit so that you can see what I can see here in the cockpit. So basically I have all informations about my plane, I have all informations about the flight plan, and yeah, the next waypoint. That's pretty cool. I made it small again and put it here, and let the pushback basically happen. The pushback truck is just reversing and picking us up. It's really beauty in VR, and it's even more beauty if you have a look at it from the outside. That's show you what I mean. So that's really cool. Now let's get back into the cockpit because we will get some instructions.
Okay, all door attention are closed. I'm ready to connect. Set parking brake.
Right, parking brake is set. And we can prepare starting our engines. Now what I did in the meantime is I entered the flight plan. Basically you can load it up from, because LittleNavMap saves it as whatever format you need, PLN, FMS, and FMS is something the 737 can work with. So you just go to the route menu, you enter origin and destination. Alright, yes, parking brake release.
Starting pushback, and you may stop the engine.
Thank you. Okay, and basically you put in the code for your origin and destination. You put in the name of the file you saved the flight plan, and then you can just insert it directly. It loads up into your FMC, and yeah, basically the whole flight plan that I showed you before in LittleNavMap is now yeah, available in the plane with all the waypoints and everything is there. Okay, let's go back to the takeoff reference page. Also here I already yeah, did the information that is important for fuel, the weight of the plane, the reserve fuel, and all these informations. They're already in the FMC now. I have some reference speeds now. I have yeah, it configured with the flap setting, so basically we are good to go. And as they said, we can yeah, start the engine. He's doing good. And there's somebody taking off with a red plane. Nice one. No idea who it is. Yeah, I could just check, but let's go on with the engine start. Let's give the ground crew an information. We will start the engine number 2 now. Put engine number 2 to ground. Things clear.
Operation complete. Please set parking brake.
And parking brake will be set. Thank you.
Disconnecting tow. Stand by.
Alright, and engine number 2 is spooling up at the moment. Everything looks good. And we will add some fuel right now because it's at 25% N2. Let's monitor the engine coming up. I use the zoom function that is here on the X button. So whatever I want to zoom in, it goes with just the right thumb. So yeah, the engine is stable at 20% now, and 1, that's good.
Disconnected, and bypass thing has been removed, and signal on the left. I'll see you next time. Have a safe flight.
Thank you. Okay, this guy will move now to the left with the duck. See you. So we can activate the taxi light, and the wing wheel light is not dimmed anymore, and we continue with engine number 1. And in the meantime, we switch the power to generator 2 because the right engine is already running. It's spooling up as well. 22, 24, 25, and yeah, let's add some fuel here on the left side as well. Looks good. All right. Now we have some power from the right side, everything is green. There is nothing left to do. I put the anti-ice functions on because we have only 12 degrees Celsius here in Munich, and at the moment we will reach higher heights. It will be much cooler, so we put rejected. Takeoff, we set the flaps to 15 because that is what we are planning to do. And yeah, taxi lights are on. Release parking brake, and while we're taxiing, I will show you another good thing, and then we are basically okay for our flight to Innsbruck. Just let me kill the APU. And let's get away from all these massive amounts of Lufthansa planes here in Munich. Only on the new terminal, the satellite terminal, there are some parking positions left. That was now a quick taxi to our runway 08 left. Okay, just let me do this left turn on taxiway. Now comes exactly the point I wanted to talk to you. Now imagine ATC or the ground control has given you instructions on where to taxi. Now in VR you can't take any notes. There are two ways to take notes in VR. I show you both ways. Number one is using AviTab. Now let's go to plugins folder. Here you see plugins, and then you go to AviTab, and then you get the AviTab tablet. Now it offers you a lot of functions, and most of them are already included also here in the Zibo737, but I show you them anyway. You can select charts that are saved to your computer and open them up in PDF format. You can get airport information on every airport that is listed here in the database. For example, I show you, if I put in now LOWI, so that's Innsbruck. It shows you, for example, the frequency for the tower, 80s frequency, the runways available, length of the runways, and I have to take the second one, sorry, and the updated weather, which is pretty cool as an airport information. Now, but as I said, now we are advised to enter, for example, here this short taxiway, Charlie 1. Let's call it Charlie 1 to make things easier. There is a function that is called notes. Now notes is nothing else than here, it's a notepad. So you can see if ground control says you have to hold short at Charlie 1, whatever. You can put here C1, whatever. As you can see, that's so handy. Even if you do little letters, C1, what is it? A, C, I don't know, B, C, Y, D, and then you have to get the, I don't know, the takeoff clearance, and you're cleared to 5,000 feet. Runway heading 80. As you can see, this is not very accurate. You know, it would be if you operate something like a pen on it, but in virtual reality, it's really not doable. So let me introduce you to another idea that I had. It's basically, let me switch to the desktop and let me operate the mouse quickly. If you go into your web browser, just enter speechnotes.co. That's it, speechnotes.co. It's an online speech-to-text tool, and it opens up in your web browser. So as I showed you before, with Move VR you can transfer any window into your virtual cockpit, and so you can with this one. So I just put in the desktop view into my cockpit, and I have a little window then that shows me exactly what you see here on the screen now. Sorry, it's just popping back in my view. Let's keep it here because I just want to demonstrate you how it works. If I click this mic here, it automatically starts recording, and whatever I say, for example, I repeat the instructions of the ATC, it will be written down here as well. So let's see. You are cleared for altitude 10,000. Next paragraph. New paragraph, sorry. Here you go. So as you can see, the clearance for the altitude 10,000 was copied perfectly to the paper. Next paragraph. Use taxiway Charlie Delta Echo. It's not 100% perfect, full stop, but at least it copies everything that you say, everything that you repeat from air traffic control, and whatever note you want to give to yourself, like, okay, let's put heading 086. Let's do not forget to switch off the wipers and buy some cake for the lovely wife. Full stop. I leave it up to you to read it, but you can see that it basically copies everything that you say. And this is a really cool notepad, and just, you know, at a glance of in the cockpit to this notepad, I can see the important information that I just repeated. New paragraph. Another important thing is that when I go here to the speech selection, this is not limited to English, right? As you know, I'm German, so whenever I switch this thing now to German language, I could also do a German sentence, and it would be copied right away. Now, just give it a try. Guten Tag und herzlich willkommen in München auf Ihrem Flug nach Innsbruck mit der wunderschönen Boeing 737. Punkt. Neuer Absatz. You can see it here. It's really cool. It's really cool, and it's correct in German, and yeah, it offers different languages. I think it's important to have Spanish language, to have Portuguese, to have the Nordic, even Arabic and Czech language, are available. So I think a lot of people can use this as a handy tool. Now let me close it and let's begin our flight from here. So flaps are set. Let's assume we have the takeoff clearance. Landing lights on. And as you can see, I'm now a bit, the position is a bit too far below my viewpoint. So I take the wireless keyboard and just adjust my seating position a bit higher, and that's really cool. Another thing that needs to be explained, I think, is when you see your windows are disappearing and getting blank or white, like this one, it's not a problem. It's just that Move VR can only display active windows, and I have minimized LittleNavMap. So let me bring it back here again, and I zoom out a bit more so that you can just see the perfect departure that we are doing now. And here we go. All right, and I think we can jump forward to the landing in Innsbruck after we have done the rotate just now. Positive rate, and let me tell you, PlaneCommand works now as well. Landing gear up. Landing gear up.
Landing gear going up.
Thank you. Flaps 5.
400.
400 checked. And we're on course.
$1,000.
1,000 feet is good, and I will not change now into autopilot mode because it's a bit boring. And flaps up. That's a gorgeous view of the scenery here around Munich Airport. It's done by Mr. X, SFD, Short Final Designs, and surrounded by Orto for XP satellite tiles, self-made basically. Alright, now we are following the flight plan, and then I will come back to you during the approach of Innsbruck. Alright, we're now in the beautiful Inntal in Austria, and we are approaching Innsbruck Airport. At the moment we are basically short before final approach. We can see the runway, and yeah, thanks to LittleNavMap window in our cockpit, we are entering by hand the final approach. That's pretty cool. And now I will give some commands to our virtual Copilot. I need to lower the flaps now to 10, and the landing gear can come down. Landing gear down.
Landing gear going down.
Set speed to 150.
Speed 215 knots.
Set speed 155.
Speed 155 knots.
Set heading 260.
Heading button already set to 260 degrees.
Alright, landing lights on.
Heading 012 degrees.
And landing lights will be on. There we go. Landing lights are already on. Alright, flaps 15 are coming. Landing gear down, 3 green, looks good. And now I can zoom into LittleNavMap and show you how cool that is. You see that?
Thousand feet, stabilized, Mr. Approach altitude set.
Thank you. Self-flaps 15. And the other thing, if we don't need this, is the checklist that is basically in the 737. And we will get it out in a second. Just let me make sure that we land with flaps 30 and 155 was the approach speed. Now we can go down to 140 knots. Set speed 140.
Speed 140 knots.
Thank you. And it looks good. No heads raised here in Innsbruck. It's a really beautiful approach. 400 feet, let's continue. Too white, too red. That's what's in my head. It's good. That looks like a good landing. Reversers up. Spoilers up, that's good. And we go into manual braking at 80 knots.
80 knots.
And in Innsbruck you have to turn around at the end of the runway and reverse on the 08. And then we taxi back to the gates, get the flaps up. So I think everyone's still alive. It was a quick landing, and the last thing I wanted to show you doing this flight in VR is the 737 has a built-in checklist, and it's where the original is. So you grab here, and then it comes up. And basically you can take it, you can grab it here and pull it closer. And for example, you can do now the taxi to gate checklist. Taxi clearance is obtained, let's assume, whether radar has to go off. The landing lights go off and strobes so are set to steady. Transponder altitude off, and that's cool because I can say squawk 1200.
Transponder set to 1200.
Thank you. The flaps are up. Auto brake is off. Yeah, that's already done. the start switches go to off, APU and probe heat can get off. Okay, that's what we do later on. And approaching the stand, turn off the taxi lights. Thank you. So that's a cool, cool way to have a checklist in the cockpit. And that is basically what I wanted to show you. It's also really cool in virtual reality because it's there. So you can take notes, you have the checklists, you have the map program, you have this tab with all these handy informations, and at the moment I don't see a reason why you should not fly in virtual reality, because you don't really miss something. One of the later episodes will cover also flying with online networks like VATSIM or EVAO, and then basically it's the same way like here, like we do it here. We have a window, we can basically note down the instructions by voice, and we can confirm in the virtual cockpit also the buttons in the VATSIM or EVAO client. So yeah, we are basically here, and just while I'm talking, I parked this beauty in, so let's close all the windows, put the checklist back, and put the parking brake on. Yeah, and I can only say thank you for being with us here in the hybrid cockpit, and yeah, let's get out of it. All right, the hybrid cockpit has landed in Innsbruck, and it was a very cool virtual reality flight. So thank you for being with me on that flight, and yeah, I hope you have gotten some ideas using tools in virtual reality. And if you haven't subscribed to this channel, you can do it now. There will be maybe coming up a third or fourth episode of using this cockpit, or maybe some cool other tools that I use. Yeah, thank you very much, and thank you as well for the first 1,000 viewers on episode number 1. I'm very grateful for that, so stay tuned on the hybrid cockpit.